In this video, you guys, I'm gonna show you how to prevent your customers from negotiating with you. It's one of the most common issues in our industry. And I'm confident that there's gonna be a few things in this video that you're not expecting. There's gonna be some things that you can do immediately, and there's gonna be some things that you need to do over a long period of time. We're gonna head over to my first shop and show you kind of where everything started, and then we're gonna go over to our second location, and then we're gonna come back here. And this is where quality will be for the rest of the time I own it. So one of the most powerful quotes that I picked up from The Seventh Habit, which is by Stephen Covey, is the quote that says, if you ever think the problem is out there, that very thought is the problem. That quote has changed my life, not only in business, but in my family life as well. So let's go ahead and head over to the original shop, because I want everyone to have perspective on where everything started and how everything came about. I was 19 years old and I blew up my Jeep Grand Cherokee at the Pismo Dunes. And I told my boss from the landscape company that I needed to get a new car because I blew up my Jeep. And he said, well, if you got a truck, I would be able to pay you $15 an hour. I used that as an excuse or as a justification to go get a brand spanking new truck. The first place I had to take it was the tint shop. And so I did a little bit of research. I was new to this area and I decided what shop I was gonna take my truck to off of Google reviews. And at the time, believe it or not, 20 Google reviews was a lot. Anyways, I came down here and I watched him tint my windows on my truck, just my driver and passenger. And right then and there, I asked him if he would teach me how to tint. And he kind of chuckled and said, no, it doesn't work like that. It's a lot harder than you think. And sure enough, he was right. But anyways, I left. He called me back a few weeks later and he said, hey, you were down here a few weeks ago. You mentioned wanting to learn how to tint. And I said, yeah. He said, well, I'll teach you how to tint under one condition. And I said, okay, what's that? He said, you got to buy the whole business. And I basically just ran down here. I was so excited. I came right down here. I was like, okay, I'll be right down. I want to talk to him. It was this bay right here and this door right here. The gentleman, Aaron Bewley, I mean, he kept it really nice inside. He had white and black checkered floors, and you could tell he took pride in it. He made it look cool. Now, it wasn't such a big company that it was obviously out of my reach. I knew that with his teachings, I could make it work. And sure enough, that's what we did. Now, you might be wondering, how did I get the money to buy the shop and how much did he want for it and so on and so forth? I came down here and I said, I'm super interested. I'm actually more interested. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always wanted to own a small company. He said, yeah, I want to sell the business. And I remember he was asking $250,000 at the time. This was in 2008. So he's like, where are you going to get the money, dude? I was 19. So I went home and I asked my mom, I said, hey, look. And I pitched her the deal. I was like, there's this guy, I just met him, I wanna buy the shop. She said, what makes you think you know how to run a company? And I said, I don't. And that's the cool part about it. He's gonna show me. No team members at all. So part of the pitch to my mom was, hey, look, don't make me go to college like my sister did. Even she's not using the degree. My mom didn't go to college, so I had a strong argument there, okay? I convinced my mom to let me use what she was gonna use for me to go to college to buy the business instead of making me go to college. So my mom said this, she said, for 2 weeks straight, I want you to go down there and spend every day with Aaron and make sure that this is something you still wanna do. And I said in that moment, so you're saying that I can quit school and I don't have to go to school? So for 2 weeks I came down here, me and Aaron talked, I just watched him. Now he was asking $250, we negotiated for a year and we negotiated him down to 105. This was right before the financial crisis in 2008. I lived in the loft and I used that as negotiation power with my mom. I said, Mom, I'm gonna live there. I'm literally gonna live there. There's no shower, there's no nothing, there's no bathroom. There's a communal bathroom around the corner. I got a gym membership and I would go to the gym, work out, take my showers there. If I needed to go to the bathroom at night, you know, full disclosure, I'd go around the corner right here and piss in the dirt. How to get customers to not negotiate with you. It's hard when you're in a setting like this. The customers can feel that you need the money. And when the customers can feel that you need the money, they're gonna negotiate. In 2012, as many of you guys know, is when I called Fellers and ordered the printer, the plotter, and the laminator. We put a hole in the wall so that we can go over to this shop, and basically we turned this into one big shop. But I asked him if I could paint my awnings black, and then I wrapped these black. And as you can see, they're still wrapped all these years later. These windows were reflective blue window film. I had blue potted plants, and I did everything I could to make this little shop as nice as possible and stand out from all the other competitors. And those are the types of things that help customers take you seriously. And the more customers take you seriously, the more they see themselves in you, the less likely they are to negotiate. So let's get in the Corvette and head over to the second location where I moved in about 2014. So business is a lot like poker. People can feel your energy. So what do I mean by that? You know, I know for me, I thought, oh, because I had a big diesel truck, I'm gonna fool everyone into thinking I'm more successful than I am. It don't work like that. When you're successful, you know who's real and who's not. Very rarely are you gonna get fooled by someone that's trying to have the persona of being more successful, but you can definitely fool someone into thinking you're not as successful as you actually are. There's a balance. You don't want to be fake, but you don't want to sandbag so bad to where you actually can have nicer things. If you don't have a differentiator and your competitors don't have a specific differentiator, the customer is left to differentiate you guys. And if the customer has to differentiate you guys, you know what he's gonna use to differentiate you? The price. And that's the number one issue that I see when it comes to pricing in our industry. People forget that we're running a business and not just a lemonade stand. So here we are. We went from an auto complex to a shopping center. Okay, so a lot of mom and pop businesses, but it was an upgrade. Why is it an upgrade? Because it's not a bunch of auto businesses. And generally in auto centers, you see a lot of broken down cars. You see body shops and mechanic shops, you know, flooding the parking lot with broken down cars, and it immediately puts a bad taste in your customer's mouth. So our business was right where that Tropic sign was, in that corner. And I got lucky when I found this place. And when I came in here, I went, wait, where are the roll-up doors? This was our back door. You can still see our old logo stained on the door right there. The less people think that you need the money, the more they're gonna try to negotiate. So if you think of going to a lemonade stand, right? We've all done it. They're charging 50 cents for a lemonade, and you slide the kid a $5 bill to be the superstar. And that's awesome. You're not gonna slide them 500. Why? Because you're thinking, what does a kid need $500 for? That's what this video is all about, you guys. You actually have to achieve success, and people will treat you in alignment with how successful you actually are. Now, there's things we can do before we've achieved financial freedom to help eliminate some negotiation, such as having nice signage, having a nice haircut, dressing nice, but you cannot fake being successful. And so when somebody walks in and the shop looks like shit, and you're not dressed properly, and you're not well manicured, and you don't smell nice, they think, yeah, they're gonna negotiate with you because they're thinking to themselves, you don't need $1,200. That's a lot for you. Can you project yourself and put your shop in a better light? Can you clean the shop up? Can you paint the walls and do things that don't cost a lot of money? Yes, but you're never gonna be able to fake the actual status of your business. So there's things you can do to modify it a little bit. And a lot of people I know are gonna be thinking, God, I never thought of it that way. And I'm going, no, it's not that you never thought about it. It's that you never thought. The number one way to stop customers from negotiating with you is not need the money. Do you understand that? The number one thing you can do to prevent your customers from negotiating with you is not need the money. You've heard it said before that one of the best negotiation tactics is being able to walk away. But so many of you guys can't walk away. So therefore, you can't really negotiate. It's a bluff. And that's why you get all frustrated. You're like, God damn it. How did my customer know that I would do it for less? Now I have to do it for $199 or $250 or whatever. But the truth is, you will do it for less. So is the customer really wrong? Or are you wrong for putting yourself in a position to where you're broke and you need the money? So this was literally my dream shop way back in the day. And when I was at the original shop, I used to drive by and go, that would be the dream. We rented this shop out. I painted it all. I added the flagpole. I added all the landscaping, and we're able to curate our entire environment, all the way down to our bathroom, all the way down to controlling the entire parking lot. If you want to look cool and you want to look like you have more than you have, I can't help you. You have to be willing to live on less than you make and actually look like you don't have as much as you actually have, so that you can put yourself in a power position to where you can say no to customers and tell them, you know what, you're not a good fit for us, and say bye to the business. But because you guys aren't saying bye to the business, the customer knows that, and they get what they want. And then you get frustrated and you don't know how to overcome it. It starts with a specific differentiator, knowing what makes you different than your competitors and getting unbroke. Your high-end customers have been broke before, so they know what it's like. If the owner dresses really nice, that's great, but it's not as powerful as your team members dressing nice. Now, how can Austin have even more credibility than he has at this shop? I could not be here at all, right? Subconsciously, customers are gonna think, oh, this is such a small business that the owner is still on site. You don't go to American Airlines and talk to the CEO. You don't go to Home Depot and talk to the CEO when you have a complaint. Now, again, I can't just not be here. I have to grow to that point. Stop thinking that the reason why people negotiate is because they don't appreciate the tint. They negotiate because they go, that's a lot of money for a guy like you. You don't need that much money. And it's true. And it's true because you get the money and you go spend it on dumb shit. So I've taught people for years, the more logos that customers see, the more credibility you have. There's logos everywhere. Logo, 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 logo. Now, why does that build credibility? Because it subconsciously tells people that we reinvest into our business. Therefore, I'm not being dumb with my money. Why don't they see the value in having their car tinted? It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with them treating you like a little kid because they're thinking you act like a little kid. Your team is walking around like they don't want to be here because you haven't created an accountability system. They're not wrong. They know they can get away with whatever they want because you don't know how to hold them accountable. I always say, even I would start running the stop signs and stop lights and not using the crosswalks if there was no accountability system. If you ever think the problem is your customer, if you ever think the problem is your team, if you ever think the problem is where your shop is located, that very thought is your problem. You don't go into a Ferrari dealership and negotiate. You go into a used car lot and negotiate. So stop operating like a used car lot, stop looking like a used car lot, and I bet you, I know for a fact, your customers will stop negotiating as much. And come up with a specific differentiator so you know what makes you different. If you guys want help, this is what I do. I love mentoring people one-on-one, so much so that we have 100% money back guarantee. I genuinely want to help people, and I genuinely don't need the money. And I'm genuinely that confident that if I work with you one-on-one in my mentorship program, we're gonna drastically move the needle. And if you don't, I give you your money back because I love doing it and I don't need the money. I want the money. It's not arrogant. It's just I don't need it. So therefore, I'm able to have 100% money back guarantee, which helps me sell more mentorship programs because no one wants to be mentored by someone that's broke. A couple words of encouragement is that you have to understand that everything is going to compound with time. So the more resources you have, the more you can make your shop look nicer. The more your shop looks nicer, the less people are going to negotiate. The less people negotiate, the more money you have. The more money you have, the more you can put back into the shop. And it compounds. So the hardest part is at the very beginning. It becomes easier and easier and easier, and you grow exponentially. So keep your head down and reach out to me if you need any help. I'm always happy to help. We'll see you on the next one.